Welcome to MeatballCraft, episode 59. Today we've got some very big projects to start, so let's get started. Provided we don't run into any roadblocks, which we probably will, I think one of the next things to do is make the Dyson sphere, which is very cool looking. However, in the middle of the Dyson sphere, we need a miniature star, which we need to use the star core for. And this is the star core recipe, which is 3 black hole tanks, one full of deuterium, one full of hydrogen, and one full of tritium, as well as an everlasting fuser, which I think we've already got. Yes, we got plenty of them. And a relative collapser. I don't think we've made this before, and it will need a weird fluid. Okay, that's not actually too difficult to make, so that should be fine. And we stand on top of a sednanite stabilizer to get it. This feels like something where we can only make it in the space station again. I'm not sure if we do have enough of everything. Probably hydrogen and deuterium, but I'm not sure about tritium. I'd be very surprised, but we can just pump some out into here and see if we can get some. I think I'm being a bit silly trying to get it from the defined off products. I don't think that's how we do it. I think how we do it is by making these nightmare binders with hot spring water and twilight fire, which will make us the binder for deuterium and tritium. I don't know how to make the hydrogen one. Twilight fire and water. Okay, that's nice and easy. So we want to make that. Put it in a nightmare synthesizer, which I don't think... No, they seem fairly easy to make. And we should be good. I will need the hot spring bee. Is it this guy? Yeah, hello hot spring bee. Have you actually made any surplus of hot spring? Oh, yes. Oh, that's formic acid. Never mind, that's not the hot spring bee. Here's a quick and speedy hot spring water automation, and basically we just have 8 spring water queens and a melter, melting the combs into hot spring water, which we probably need way more of, but whatever, this will do for now. And there we go, some beautiful nightmare binder, which I think I'll see if I can just make a few of these little guys behind here. Don't need the oxygen for now, just so I think there's space behind this. Enough space, I would say. Then maybe that'll fit just sneakily back here. Now we should have some very fast filling tanks, as long as we didn't put spring water in them, which we did by accident, so we'll just get rid of that. I think this is okay. Hot spring water is still going into those. Oh no, that was working. Okay, don't quite know what was going on there, but there we go. Deuterium and tritium and hydrogen. So we just need to wait for these to fill up. It probably will take a little bit of time, but this is way faster than it was. While we're waiting for that, there are 4 other things we need to make the Dyson sphere. Dyson sphere glass, Dyson shell, ultra capacitor banks, and Dyson beams. I'm going to put the recipes into the system and see what we need. Nothing was too difficult that we were missing for the Dyson sphere glass, so we should just be able to get that running. This is by far still my favourite way of farming peat, even if it's a little bit manual. It appears we have a new problem, and that problem is zanite. And the way I have remedied this is I have taken over the cesium, or whatever it is, whispering fountain, and we can make zanite ore by using vibrating stone. 1 stack of vibrating stone gives us a stack of zanite? Yes, and some whispering starlight, but that's basically infinite. Oh yeah, look. It's not like we're losing any, so that's fine. We're making tons of this, and I was going to use the fortune pickaxe to process this, but it was slow. And I thought the slight yield from using a fortune pick probably wasn't worth the slowness, so I just stuck it in a chest that goes straight to the pulverizer, and we should be making plenty of zanite. In the time I've been speaking, I think we've got about 30,000 already, and we needed 106,000, so that seems very efficient and a good way to get zanite. Perfect. We have actually managed to fill up all the black hole tanks, which is very lovely. So I can just collect these, and we should be able to make the starlight thing that we wanted. I didn't pick one up. Perfect. I think I might actually just fill some more black hole tanks up with this. We might as well. Especially tritium's incredibly useful still, I think. Always seems like we need it, so... Oops, not the right one. No harm in having this keeping going. However, we can't do it quite yet because we need a collapser thing, which we haven't made. This doesn't seem too difficult, but I kind of want to keep the crafting going for the other thing. Oh, a defined plate. Interesting. Maybe this isn't too bad, really. We're just kind of waiting for nether sky steel for one of them, which is just taking a really long time. You think you're done when you've got 125,000 nether sky steel, but then you find out that you need another 119 pristine ghast matter. It never ends. Oh, and behold, we can now craft it. 90 Dyson shell, here we come. There was a really strange issue with yttrium where this chemical reactor just decided not to take power anymore. So I've connected it to this flux plug instead. Now it's working. Honestly, absolutely no idea why it did that, but it meant that we ran out of yttrium, even though we shouldn't have, but we should be making it again. Very confusing. We are now in the process of making everything for the Dyson shell, except for the thing to make the relative collapser. Now we only have one CPU available because I wanted to make a bunch of tungsten steel because it was always taking a long time, and it seems to be working pretty well. So I would like to make the relative collapser next. Oh, we need quite a lot of dense plasma, but it should be fine. While I've been waiting for stuff, I've just been looking at some of the quests, and you know, we're not really that far from rectolite halite, like really not that far at all, to be honest. Just need Warren rifts, which can make easily enough, I think. I don't think that's going to be a problem. We need these ascended fractals, but that's just the mythic fractal with Gem of the Ascended Warrior around it. And the only tricky thing is this halite imbuement fabrial. We need to perfect the Gallifreyan ingot, get some of these recursions, which just seem to be from loot fabricators. That's easy done. Essence of the Halite Warrior, we've already got everything for that, I think, apart from the heart of the Halite Warrior. But that's just this with some halite fluid, which I think should really be easy enough to get after we have the Infinity Ingot, which is what we need to get before this anyway. That should be fine. Might be a little tricky to set up. The main issue, I think, is actually just going to be the multi-blocks we need, the Dyson irradiator north and south, finish off the Dyson sphere, Dyson and the Dyson compressor, and then we have it, which is strange, but that seems fairly doable. Honestly, I kind of thought it would be harder, but, well, it's hard, obviously it's really hard, but it does seem within reach. Over here, I have just set up a way to get relativistic matter. I had it over by everything else before, but the problem was this causes a horrendous amount of radiation. Not that it tells you, so yeah, I kind of just got irradiated terribly, but we're making it so it's just the dense plasma in a supercooler to make triple point matter, and then we are combining it in a neutron irradiator with molten selenite. It's a bit slow, doesn't really matter, we're not in a rush, and let me tell you why we're not in a rush. You see, these Dyson things, while I can make them, it takes 57,000 solar panels, which is a lot, 47,000 generators, 41,000 Beta RE batteries, and 64,000 electronic circuits. So, yeah, that's quite a lot. So, really, we need to think of a better way to do this. And I'm actually going to cancel these crafts while we sort this out, because honestly, this is a little bit ridiculous and it will take too long. First things first, we need to set up a way to get basic circuits on passive, which is what I've done here. We are just using some of the defined space because it's all chunk loaded anyway. I think this bit, yeah. So we might as well use this bit. We have two compactors, an alloy furnace, and an assembling machine. We are making electrum over here. Pretty fast, actually. Got two test locators here. Everything's so stock that you can't actually see it go down. All of these have tier 2 coils, which is very handy. The electrum goes into a compactor and is compacted into plates, and this is for aluminium, which is also just compacted straight into plates. They both go in here. It evened up nicely in here. Hopefully this doesn't break, and we are making basic circuits really fast. I mean, technically we're probably voiding a couple of these by having it auto output like this, but whatever. That should help us a lot. Now, the next upgrade should be to our assemblers, because that is what we're having a problem with. And to do that, there is a multi-block called the Mass Assembler from Lazy AE2. And I have never used this before, don't really know how it works, so we're going to give it a go together. It should be alright, we should have everything, maybe. What's a speculation core? Yeah, so there's a few things we actually need to set up for this with fluix aggregator that we haven't done before. You'll need to set up at least these three things. I don't know what this is. Oh yes, we'll also need that. So that's 4 things with this, which is, you know, never mind, it wasn't easy to make. Just haven't made it. We need this fluix logic thing. We do have time crystals, that's fine. How do you make... you make it in an inscriber originally. Okay, well, we need to at least get one of these. Ideally, we'll have 4, set up to passive all of these 4 things, and then we can get about making this. This will be important because otherwise it's going to take me about 10 years to actually make any of the things for the Dyson compressor. I luckily had some time crystals, so now I've got myself a fluix aggregator, and we just need 4 more. We have enough time crystals, not sure why I made so many. I don't know if this connects to real power or only evil E power. It connects to real power. That's lovely. Exactly what I was hoping. A little bit of time later, and we have set up the fluix aggregators for everything. So we have the fluix steel, resonating crystals, the speculation cores, and the carbonic fluix. These don't have any upgrades. I thought we'd just keep them limited to 2048. I'm sure that'll be enough. If not, we can upgrade it. But yeah, that's part 1 sorted out. Now I just need to encode a recipe, it seems. So this is the template for the Mythic assembler. It's probably not going to go here or go with all the other AE2 stuff in the basement, but I needed to build it so I knew how big it was going to be. Interestingly though, it can be an 8x8x8, which is the max size. This is a 7x7x7 because I didn't want the even numbers, but that's fine. As long as it's big enough, I'm sure this will manage. So these are frame blocks, and then we have vents. So yeah, mass assembler frames the purple block, vents is the magenta block, and we'll need the rest inside filter pattern providers or processors. I'm not quite sure what's the best each, but this should be big enough hopefully for the end game and be a lot faster than what we already have. Can I use this again now? Unbanned, perfect. So yeah, we've got all the concrete in here to actually help me count how many of everything we need to make. And the verdict is 68 frames, 150 vents, and 125 of pattern providers and code processors, depending on which ones I want. So let's get started on making this. Might be difficult. I chucked my pickaxe into the elven portal. I've got this one which isn't even unbreakable yet. I'm very sad. And here is the big boy, the mass assembler. Yes, I have just connected it with a random wire. I don't care. We have 25 co-processors and about 100 pages of patterns. So I'm going to transfer everything over. We might have more co-processors. We'll see how fast this is. Yes, I don't care. It looks ugly. I'm going to put some glass around it. We'll see. And now all the patterns are in. We have quite a few pages. We have 21 pages. Well, we've got loads left and plenty of co-processors, hopefully. So we can expand it, evidently. So let's maybe try and make something from the Dyson sphere again. Okay, we can craft 19 Dyson shell, or 19, not 19. We're going to have to wait for some of the stuff that's... Oh, look, this is crafting. That's fast. This is going to... See, look, there's ones that just going to take ages. That's going pretty fast, I think. I mean, compared to what it was going like, and it's doing several... Oh yeah, look how many it's doing at once. I think that's a lot better, in my opinion. Yeah, that seems a lot faster. And it all fits in one thing, so we can use the space that we had the molecular assemblers. We can use these areas for more of the... I was wondering, I thought we were going to run out of space, but now we can have all of these since all of them are now empty. So yeah, that's pretty perfect. So a little ugly. Wow, that's going pretty fast. Probably have a few more co-processors, maybe another 25, but I just don't want to make them at the moment because it takes a long time for some of the components to autocraft. So yeah, this will do for now. I added 25 more co-processors. I don't actually know if that's any faster or not, but we weren't needing the patterns at the moment anyway, so I switched it up a bit. Been a bit of time waiting for things to craft, but we now have a relativistic collapser, which looks very cool. So I think what we need to do is just chuck this stuff in it, and it should be good. I don't know if this has disabled the limit. So we just chuck this in, and it's working. Don't know how long it's going to take. Is it done? No. Oh, it's going to take, oh my god, 70,000 RF per tick. That's quite a lot. Well, that's fine. Don't have to make many of these. And then I think we just need to make Sedenite stabilizer and the input and output, and we will have the Dyson sphere. Is it an AE2 feature that takes a while for things to warm up? Because this always speeds up a lot after a few thousand. Okay, we now have a singularity and we can make a Sedenite stabilizer. I'm almost certain it will want to be in the space station. So apparently we can actually move stuff out of there. So now I'm going to put it here. I think that's fine for now. It's a lot of empty space. These are quite large. So if I stand on here and then right click with this, it'll tell me, oh no, it let me do it. Can I break this now? Yes. Oh, I can break it. So it's not a, oh, and it just took the stabilizer. Okay. So it's completely different to how I thought it would be. And after all that, here is our Dyson sphere. I made a little cone thing underneath so it looks a bit like it's flying. I don't know. But here we are on Dyson Sphere. We did it. So I actually don't really know what this does. I assume it's got something to do with the Dyson capacitor. That is simply all it does, is it charges these. So, I mean, this stuff's fairly easy to make. I don't know if you have a recipe for the nightmare coil. Oh, we do. That's nice. So I guess I just need to put a recipe in and then we can make some. Okay, we've made our Dyson capacitors. We have the Dyson Sphere Quest, and now we just chuck them in here. I was going to make more than a stack, but expensive. Well, not expensive. Yes, the game also crashed while I was doing this. It does that sometimes. These dream classes are a pain to make. Most of it's completely fine. It's these demon will crystals, and to be fair, this dust, I don't think I can make these in the Berserker Forge, so I have to make them in the Hellfire Forge. And I speed up with a Torturino, but it still takes a long time. And they're annoying. I can't really automate them, so yeah. And if we come to the tail end of the sphere, we now have some charged ones. Ooh, so cool. We did it. And now, is it time for the Dyson Irradiator? Quite possibly. I'm not quite sure how the Dyson Irradiator works, because there's a north and a south part. They look like, I guess you put one on top of the other or something, but they both make the same recipes, so it's a little confusing. I think, yeah, so both, did I look at both of them, or did I just, I think they're all just kind of made of the same things. You need 2 pulsar cores. A pulsar core. I don't know if it gives just 1 or 2, so make 2 pulsar cores. I'm not really sure what's going on. I'll make 1. Let's make, does it take the same amount of things? They both seem to take the same amount of things, so I guess it doesn't really matter which one we make. We'll make 1, see how it goes, and then we can make the other one if necessary. I assume it's going to take a long time. This looks not very like a kindly recipe. I'm actually surprised we're not really missing that much. To my knowledge, we're missing a lot of Ogrite Crystal Matrix, but I'm making them, these crystals again, and some defined Shire as well, but that should be fairly easy. Now we have the tons of these cut garnets. I might just chuck some of these in the Infinity Furnace. We should be fine on that then. Titanium we have, just not there. I don't think we have a recipe for these two, and that's the only problem. There's a couple things, yeah, I just don't have recipes for, so it's not actually as bad as I thought. I thought we'd be way further, like away from all of this, but no, we're not doing too bad. Always check your filtering. For some reason, this machine, the output had filled with saline remains, because I had left the fluid extract on insert as well, and it wasn't making Röntgenium, even though it could easily have made it. For the irradiator, we're going to need the pulsar core. I don't know if you need 1 or 2 to be honest, which is 3 more black hole tanks, this time filled with iron, oxygen, and molten nickel. We've already got one of them making. We need the nightmare binder for nickel and iron, which is just abyssal night instead of, what's it instead of? Hot spring water? I mean, that should be fairly simple. What are these? Chemical reactors. Right, so I guess we can just turn the water one off and have molten abyssal night instead. I've just reformed these so that they are now getting molten iron, molten nickel, and molten oxygen. Well, not molten oxygen, oxygen. Oh, perfect. Job's a good one. I thought I'd avoided making the clean room, but apparently there's one thing that only the clean room can do, and that is making the defined redstone chipset. So we will need to make the clean room. Luckily, it's actually really, really easy to make. Mostly, but really it should be fine at this stage in the game. It's just something that I never did before. Please tell me why extracting oil from Shire plants gives us fatal radiation. And after dying a couple times from radiation, we do have an energized mulch production. I've just been taking out some of the Shire plants from the system. We don't have that many, a few thousand, so I didn't feel the need to set it up too automatically right now. They go into a fluid extractor and become Shire weed oil and mulch. We don't need the mulch, I'm just chucking it away. We then do a neutron irradiator with a different type of seed oil. It might be, yes, seed oil. We want this seed oil. We're chucking the seed oil away and keeping the energized mulch, and then that goes into a crystallizer and makes Shire mulch. So that one should be off the list and fine. I've also kind of half realized we'll need the Dyson accelerator to actually use the Dyson irradiators anyway, because what this makes is the infinite resonator, which we need to actually put in the Dyson irradiator anyway, so we might as well have one of each. I mean, yeah, we might as well just have one of each, really. They make a cool building, so, you know, why not go all out? Really, we've come this far. Because I want to make all 3, we're just going to make all 3 at once, because they all require the exact same sort of materials, which has made the craft a lot bigger. We need, for example, well, I've only done the mass the pulsar casing, but we need 756 pulsar casing, which is quite a big craft, really. We've nearly got everything on it, though. It's just a few bits and bobs that we don't have, a few of the gems. So Ogreite Matrix, which we're waiting for, Impetus gems we're making the Defined. So really, oh, this is an annoying one. Should be fine soon, really. However, now the clean room is getting a bit easier because I've just made our single spatial processor things. Woohoo! So now we should be able to make the, not the pulsar casing, where is it? The clean room thing. This. Can I make this? Almost. I need a quartz singularity, but then we'll have it. This should be our Fluix etcher. Perfect. Now everything else should be nice and easy. I'm being very lazy and I'm just going to put it on top of here. Actually probably isn't a very good idea considering the output's there. Why does nothing output from the top? We have a bit of an Einsteinium shortage, so I actually made a bigger molten salt reactor, which is 7 slices long. It seems to be working fine. It does eat through the coolant a lot more than the other one did, but I think we should really be fine. I've still got the other one running anyway, so if I turn this off for any reason, it should work. These are all voiding, so I think we'll be fine. We just needed a bit more specific for some of the nuclear counterparts, such as Rebellion, which we're also already out of again. We need some more of the, what's this stuff? Fermium, more fermium, and we need more of the fuel that makes it, so hopefully this should help. We've got tons of this AMFM fuel. This is stopped as well. I'll see. We have once again come to a problem, the Dyson thing, and that is that we need a lot of stuff. By a lot, I mean a lot of things. It's actually obscene the amount, and one of the problems is quite a lot of universal relgar, or realgar, whatever it's called, but we don't really have any garnets left. That's where this will come in. This is the ME entropic synthesizer, and this is used to make recursion fragments of Terra, which are useful because if we put them in our mythic assembler with some imperial diamond powder, or we could just use diamond powder for not getting the shile and garnets, which probably fine actually for now, just because we don't need them in the real gar. But we need to make this, and this just takes all the different matters and some twilight fire from the mythic miners and makes these fragments with some recursion focus left. So I'll get on with that, and hopefully we'll be able to make garnets a bit more easily. I've just set up an automation to get buckets of lymph of Pixonia because we always seem to need them. Why not? So there is actually one annoying little element of this entropic synthesizer, and that is the Naquada catalyst, which requires 32 Naquada, which we don't have. So I'm going to head back to Apache to see if we can find some more, I suppose. Everything else should be fine. It's just the Naquada. It said it's found in a dungeon on Apache. I've absolutely no idea what dungeon it was, to be honest. It's been so long, but hopefully it won't be too hard to find. Okay, we should have enough Naquada now. I just got it from in here with the big spider. Apparently that drops it. So this machine is finally done, and I've loaded it up with all the fluids that it wants. I don't really know how good our supplies are at the moment, but whatever. We put these in, and then an output. We should be getting loads of garnets. Maybe I'll actually remove this. Oh no, of course we're not getting the garnets from this. I'm silly. We get the recursion Terra from this. Doesn't help. Let's look up Terra. Okay, there we go. Recursion Terra. Perfect. So that's good. It takes a bit of time to actually do, but there we go. That should help us now get the garnets from this thing. We have 19 Terra things so far, but this should start producing us lots and lots of garnets. Again, it's a little slow. The other one's still a bit slow. Whatever. There we go. And oh, loads of garnet. So hopefully this will help boost up the garnet problem that we have. Another issue we're having is we're out of cold iron, like all the time. So hopefully now we have 20 more roosts full of 16 cold iron chickens with a total of 21 roosts. We'll have enough cold iron. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. We're still very much not close to the amount of stuff that we need to make 300 Dyson collectors. They are pretty expensive. I'm sure lots of other things are also going to be expensive when we get to them. This looks horrible, for instance. But yes, specifically this is very difficult, and it doesn't look like a very complicated recipe, but all of these things are really annoying and hard to get. And one thing I've noticed when I've been checking the craft is we need a million rubber or something like just like ridiculous amount. So I'm making a mythic furnace thing for it to just work on its own, because holy moly, it is a ridiculous amount. Not to mention we need 30 draconic reactor cores just for this craft, and that's going to take 45,000 better red coal. And this is the fastest it crafts. It's so slow. Can't put another machine tier coil on the resonator. It can only have a tier 1. This is as fast as it's gonna go. So yeah, maybe people should pass up that if playing this. I didn't realize I'd need so much. I've nearly gotten everything that we need to make the 300 Dyson collectors that we need, apart from the sky steel, which requires 400,000. That's a lot. There is a tripling recipe, but I don't actually even have enough Vitite to even make a dent in it. It feels unnecessary. We'd waste all the Vitite just trying to do this. So it's a bit sad. That's the way I make all the eggs like this, quite possibly. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what to do about that, to be honest, because that's the main bottleneck. Everything else I can kind of speed up, like divine shards. I've got a big system for now, trying to get the singularities, which is still quite slow, but still, yeah, that one's kind of got me stumped. Okay, to remedy the Vitite problem, I have set up an arcane and scorsolator over here, which takes the cut garnets and the eggs and makes it into the enchanted egg, which can then make 8 in the shadow fracture, and by doing that we actually now have enough to have enough Vitite, and it's just going into this chest, which is called ironing. And over here I have an expanded setup, fluid infuser. We are probably out of dimensional essence actually, more than anything else, so I might need to improve the system for that. I actually, oh, is that why it's not working? Because it's not on extract. Well, that seems to be working a little bit better. But yeah, so eventually the cold iron will run out in here and we will start being able to replace it with Vitite, which will give us a much better yield. Let me just take some of the cold iron out to speed that process up. And to be honest, we're making it at a fairly fast rate. That's not too bad compared to how fast we were making this stuff before. I think that should be enough to sustain us and hopefully not make it too slow. I'm also waiting on a pinion core so we can make some more draconic reactors. We need 30, I think, so that's quite a few. And after a very long wait, we can now finally... Okay, never mind, apparently there's some sort of strange draconium problem. It's probably because it's being sucked in. Let me just make some more. Okay, quickly. If I do 300 now, we can now craft 300 Dyson collectors. Oh, that took a really long time. The next thing we need to make is the Dyson conduit, and we need 248 of those. And we are missing beeswax, some more fiery combs, which are being made right now, and some pollen clusters. And I think that's actually it, which is quite shocking considering how expensive everything else was. But yeah, and then we just need pulsar screens, which shouldn't be too expensive, and we're basically done. We do need to collect our black hole tanks from over here, which should all be full by now. And we need to take those over to our gravitational collapser, which I believe is just here. And if I chuck these in with our everlasting fuser, it should... That's the right thing. No, that's the wrong thing. That's why it's not working. What's this thing? Right. Where on earth is that? Okay, I found it. It's over here near defined. Oh, this is a large machine. How? Oh, it's underneath this one. Yes, so if I stick everything in here, we should get our output. It's probably going to take a long time though. Probably takes a lot of RF. Yes, it takes tons of RF. And it should be made now. Yes, 1 pulsar core, which is important for us to make everything. I can just use this on top of these selenite stabilizers, and we now have our miniature pulsars. Perfect. And way less time later than it took me to make the collectors, we can now make 248 Dyson conduits as well, which is very, very lovely. We can even make the 8 pulsar screens that we need, so now we just need some, I think, 56 accelerator tubes. I don't know if we can make that. Oh, we can. Okay, so that's all the hard stuff. So now we just need to wait and make the... We need some awakened draconium casing. That shouldn't be too difficult, but apart from that, we've pretty much done, apart from inputs and outputs. Looking at some of these crafts is quite scary. We need 1.1 million copper cable. No wonder we needed so much rubber. Some of this is just like crazy amounts. I don't know why we still need just 1 sapphire. We're probably waiting for the pulverizer. 45,000 black iron, 27,000 enhanced ender ingots. We've already made 387,000 copper wire, No wonder we needed so much nether sky steel. Look how many basic machine frames we need to make. This is crazy numbers of things. It's a good thing I think, was it basic circuit boards that we passived? Yeah, we passived that, so at least we had all of them done, but goodness me. Oh, it's still trying to make runes of fire. It's probably broken again. The Arcane or Arxian lumps, these ones, Arxiani, whatever, they don't seem to be working in the Dragonfire Crucible. I know these are Heliosis lumps. The Teak lumps seem to work fine, but I was trying it with the bigger lumps because you get more from it, and it just wasn't accepting it as an input, which was a bit strange. So hopefully it works with these Heliosis ones, what the Teak ones have done, but I'm not confident, which is a little annoying because this obviously gets us less than everything else. The Heliosis just get us almost 1,000, so let's test it. And okay, it's working with that. Okay, that's fine then. Maybe the Artisan ones will work soon too. While I'm waiting for the very long process of crafting all the Dyson radiator accelerator parts, I think we should focus on some of the liquids that we'll be needing to actually use them. And one of the ones, or the first one, is the magnetar stabilizer, and this is used in the Dyson accelerator with infinity catalysts, time crystals, and alpha particles and electrons to make an infinite resonator, which is used to make infinity imbued stone. And to get this, we've actually started off already. It's the relativistic matter that we already have, and all we need to do is to get a linear plasma accelerator and put it in that. Nice and simple, apart from the whole fact I can't really craft anything at the moment. One of the other fluids we need is molten chaos. It's really, really easy because you've already got 400,000 chaos ingots, so that shouldn't be a problem. And the only other liquid we need is hyperdense plasma, which is actually just a mix of all the different matters we used in the mythical miners in a steel thermal mixer. So actually that's pretty easy as well. It won't take us too long to get that when we need it, considering I actually forgot that I can't actually really make anything right now because we're waiting for stuff and nothing will craft if I schedule it. My main problem at the moment really is just having to keep an eye on this machine to make sure it doesn't block up, and yes, I should make some more and add patterns and spread them around a little bit rather than putting them all in one assembly machine. It slows things down, but now I can't do that because I'm crafting other things, so I have to just wait for this to get through all the backlog. Anything I take out I put in here and then it'll go back into the chest eventually. Well, that's the theory anyway. So yes, it's a little bit tricky. But to be honest though, we're still waiting on 81 or 80,000 furnaces to be crafted and 500,000 insulated copper cable to be crafted, 626 fusion crafting injectors. All of these things are just going to take a really long time anyway. Oh, and the shimmer rock as well. So, I mean, if this isn't really the bottleneck, it's just a bottleneck compared to all the other bottlenecks in the crafting sphere. I have just discovered something quite horrifying, and that is to make the Dyson compressor, which is the final multi-block before we get fractal halite, I think. Yeah, there's a nasty little ingredient in it. And for the conduit, which we will need, it makes 25 at a time, but we need a lot. It takes the caps that I've unlearned from all the crafting systems because I thought I wouldn't have to make any more. And this is only some of the caps. We actually also need the other caps for the actual Dyson compressor bit. Oh no, an octuple compressed cobblestone. I didn't see that. Okay, maybe we should... Now I've seen that, maybe I should do that because this looks nasty. You know, it's actually probably not going to be the caps that's the worst part. I think actually one of the worst parts is, if you look at this, because we need so many of these, we need at least like 16, 20 crafts of it. That's 12 times, that's like 240 opinion cores perfected. And if we look at how much there is opinion core, let's have a look. Perfected. Let's say it's 240. Not only do we need, oh my goodness, 400,000 more gold than we have, we need 245,000 better red coal, which you can craft in this, but it's incredibly slow. So yeah, I don't think I can even do a different mythic coil for this. I think it literally is just slow. Yeah, you just have to use the tier 1. So I put that on passive for now because I'll just need so much. It took me long enough to make the opinion cores for the draconic reactors, let alone this. So that's going to be very fun when we get to it. But at least I've seen this now and I'm vaguely preparing. I've also set up something for the octuple compressed cobblestone. We've got 2 septuple. Oh, I assume that's octuple then, so we don't need this one. So yeah, we can just leave this to go. It's got 40 MC links into this one drawer. I can't actually see how much is going in at a time. Honestly, it looks like it must be like about 12 stacks a second from the rate it's doing things. This is probably faster than a crafter. So once I have the crafting capability, I will also be increasing the number of neutronium bombarders. Is that what this is called? Oh, the neutronium cannons that we have. One is simply just not enough. It's too slow. We need at least a few more, which might be a little expensive, but I mean, nothing's really that expensive at the moment because we're going to need things like electrons and alpha particles, and while we have not that many, especially not of alpha particles, we have none of, oh, that's electrons. It's electrons we don't really have any of. But yeah, that's not a great thing. So I'm just, yeah, this is back on again. This should be making us stuff. We've got a bit of decomposed matter buffered that we can start extracting. Hopefully these buffers fill up a bit more so that we have enough of everything. I think because the electrons go straight into that's alpha particles. I'm not quite sure everything goes, to be honest. It's a bit of a mess, this whole thing, but we'll see. I think all our electrons and some of the alpha particles are going towards making one of the definer fluids, meitnerium, or meitnerium. That's probably where a lot of it's actually gone. I don't know quite, I surely haven't done too big a buffer on that, but maybe I have, and that's why we've not got anything. But this system will definitely need to improve, and pronto, really. So apparently you can touch, the mass assembler, which is very, very nice. So that's us making the copper cables a lot faster. Where is it? Oh yeah, look at those furnaces. They're just being decimated now. So that'll speed things up a little bit. Oh, look at those copper cables. They're just being crafted, no problem. So, I mean, that's going to speed things up a teeny tiny bit, but really not that much in the grand scheme of everything. If only I could touch, the assembly machine or something. I know I said the Dyson circle thing, the Dyson compressor was the last thing before you get fractalite halite, but it's not. We actually need to make this halite imbuement fabrial, and to get that we need a Gallifrey fabrial, and that needs to do this in a plasmatic condenser, which requires halite fluid, which isn't what I was looking for. There's something else that requires the fractalite furnace. This. Okay, so we need this for some reason. I obviously completely forgot what it was. Yeah, okay, we need it to make the perfected Gallifreyan ingot. That's what it's used for. So yeah, we'll have to make this multi-block, and this one's, I mean, it's not easy. We need to make some imperfect Gallifreyan ingots as well. So we're in the home stretch, but still very far away. After waiting quite a long time, I finally am able to upgrade the automatic Starlight Alter, and this should increase it to like 200 times or 100 times speed, which would be amazing because it's so slow at the moment. So there we go. Okay, that's way faster. It was still doing this last craft. That will hopefully speed things up a little bit, because this thing was taking just forever to make whatever it needed to make, so that is definitely a quality of life upgrade. We only have 2 more things left before we can actually craft the Dyson thing, and that is the awakened level of crafting injectors from Draconic Evolution. The orange ones, I think that's awakened, and these high energy ray collectors, which take a very, very long time to craft, and we need over 100. It is painfully slow. Even the 300 and something thousand circuits didn't take this long. And now, after a very, very long time, we finally have our Dyson irradiator plus the other 2 things multi-block, and it looks very, very cool. It's just on this hill over here. I don't want to hide it, because first it's massive. Anything I build wouldn't look as cool as it does. There we go. That took a lot of work and a lot of effort, but we finally have it. And, it's definitely worth it. It looks very, very cool. Now I just need to set up the fluid inputs and the item inputs, and we should be able to make some infinity ingots, potentially. However, I think that's going to have to wait until the next episode. And yes, after I built this monstrosity, I did realise that I could do some wall sharing and I didn't need to make all of these blocks, but whatever. at least it looks quite cool, at least in my opinion. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.